And in our world business news, in a bid to keep Italy and Spain from the same fate as Greece, Portugal and Ireland, Eurozone finance ministers promised on Monday cheaper loans, longer maturities and a more flexible EU rescue fund. They said new measures would be announced shortly but set no deadline. The EU policymakers also declined to rule out the possibility of a selective default for Greece, according to attendees at a meeting in Brussels. After the talks, ministers from the 17 Eurozone countries vowed to safeguard stability in the euro area.
It's very important that the ministers reaffirmed their absolute commitment to safeguard financial stability in the euro area. And they stand ready to adopt further measures that will improve the euro area's systemic capacity to resist contagion risk, including enhancing the flexibility and the scope of the European Financial Stability Facility.
Meanwhile, Jean-Claude Juncker, chairman of the Eurogroup, repeated that there would be a private sector involvement in the new bailout fund for Greece, which needs to be agreed upon by September to avert a default.
There will be a private sector involvement. That's a decision which was taken by the European Council. You like it or you don't, but this is a decision which has been taken by the European Council, and talks with the private sector representatives will go on in the next coming days in order to conclude them as soon as possible.
With the clock ticking on an August 2nd deadline to avoid a default on the US debt, President Barack Obama said he's pushing congressional leaders for the largest possible deal to reduce the country's deficit and raise the debt ceiling. The Treasury Department has warned that it will run out of money to cover the country's bills of Congress if Congress does not raise the $14.3 trillion debt ceiling, a prospect that President Obama warned would have dire consequences. Democrats are pushing for tax hikes to get the budget in line, while Republicans are pushing for deeper spending cuts.
If we don't raise the debt ceiling and we see a crisis of confidence in the markets and suddenly interest rates are going up significantly and everybody is paying higher interest rates on their car loans, on their mortgages, on their credit cards, and that's sucking up a whole bunch of additional money out of the pockets of the American people, I promise you, they won't like that.
The Bank of Japan kept interest rates on hold today and gave a brighter assessment of the economy, citing increasing signs of recovery from the devastating March earthquake. At its monetary policy meeting on Tuesday, the central bank kept the range of its benchmark interest rate steady at 0 to 0.1% and held off on loosening rates further. The central bank added that Japan's economy is picking up as supply constraints from the earthquake ease. Recent data revealed that Japan's factory output jumped by the most in almost 60 years in May, and also business and consumer sentiment showed signs of recovery. The data underscores the Bank of Japan's expectations that the Japanese economy will grow in the third quarter after being stuck in a recession for 3 consecutive quarters. Before we go, here's a quick overview of the Asian equity indices as well as the oil and currency markets, and after that, we have the day's sports news for you.